So we just got the call from the post office saying that our baby chicks have just arrived. We're gonna go to the greenhouse, which is where we have our brooder set up, and turn on the heater to make sure it's all warmed up for them, get their food and water all set up there, and then we're gonna go get our new chicks. Okay, so the brooder's all set up. We just lined it with paper towels for now, and we're going to do pine shavings later on. We have a waterer for them, 2 little dishes of food. We just used mason jar lids. The brooder is all heated up. It's currently about 70 in the greenhouse right now, but it'll probably get up to like 80 or 90. So let's go to the post office.
It's sunnier than most days. You'll never see the sky if you keep looking down. And if you take the wrong way, and maybe you should stay instead of turning around. So, but you keep on going. I know that you're in the open, hoping that you'll be okay. Don't stay looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going nowhere?
Going home, babies. So cute. Oh my gosh. So cute.
Looking out the window. And how late do you plan on going nowhere? Afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care.
When you get chicks in the mail, they are only a day old and they've never had water or food before. This is because they have all the nutrients that they need from the egg that they were hatched from. So in order to make sure that they all know how to get to their water and they know where it is, you just have to take their beaks and just dip them into whatever water you have available for them. And once they have that first sip of water, they'll know that that's how they drink and they'll be able to find it on their own after that. So you want to make sure that you just take your chicks out one by one and dip each of their beaks in water and make sure that they have that first drink of water. If they have trouble finding their food later on, you can just tap it for them until they come and inspect it and figure out that it's food. But while we were dipping these chicks in the water, they actually found the food all by themselves and they started eating, so that wasn't an issue for us.
And how late do you plan on going nowhere? Afraid of all the things you don't know. There's so many reasons you should care.
So here's a look at our full setup. We have this bin that we got from the grocery store for free. We just had to go and ask them to save us this watermelon bin, and then we were able to go grab it. And we just cut a little bit out of the front just so that we can get in there easier to take care of the chicks. And it's nice because it can fit. We have 16 chicks, which is a pretty good number, and it fits all of them really comfortably. And it also has these really high sides so that once they start getting their feathers in and start trying to get out of the box, it'll keep them more contained for a little bit. Right now we have paper towels in there just so that their feet can grip onto the floor a little better than just cardboard. And then when they're a few days old, we're going to switch to using pine flakes. These are the ones we have. We just got it at Tractor Supply. And then we're just going to line those right on top of the paper towels that are in there. They're looking really happy right now. They have a really nice, quiet, gentle peep, which means that they are content. If they have more of a louder peep, then you can tell that something's going on. And they're just kind of moving in and out from under the brooder, which is perfect. You don't want them to be all huddled in there because that means that they're cold. But if they're all trying to get away from the brooder, then that means that it's too hot in there. So it seems like it's a pretty good temperature right now because they're just moving in and out as they need to, and about half of them are huddled under there. And it is pretty warm in the greenhouse right now. It's like 80 degrees, so I think that's pretty good for them. We have their water set up and a few different stations for food. We have these mason jar lids because I think it's a little easier for them to see and get to when they're younger. And they seem to have found it just fine on their own, and they're just enjoying that right now. There's that little guy right there who's sleeping. He's not dead, he's just sleeping, but he looks pretty funny just face down there. With our order, we also added on this quick chick, which is supposed to have more electrolytes to help them hydrate after their long journey. So I'm gonna go put this in some water and replace their water with this instead so that they can get a little bit more hydrated and healthy. And by the way, I don't think we mentioned, but our chicks are from Murray McMurray hatchery, and they seem really healthy, so we're really happy with them. We had planned on just going to Tractor Supply and getting chicks from there, but every time we went, the chicks looked very unhappy and crowded, and just they didn't look good at all. So we decided to go with a more ethical hatchery, even though it meant that these chicks would have to get shipped to us instead of picking them up at a store. They seem to have done just fine on the journey, so we're pretty happy that we decided to go this route. It was pretty cute to watch the chicks that first hour and that first day. When they first got into the box, they were all pretty wobbly because they haven't really used their legs before, so they would kind of just like stumble around like that one just did, and it's just really adorable. I wanted to just go over the breeds that we got and what they look like. So the first one here is an Americana. I think that different Americana chicks can actually have different markings. All 6 of ours have this kind of like stripy marking on their backs. Next, this black and white marbled looking chick is a Bardrock, and we got 3 of those. So far these seem to be the most active of our group. Then we have the Red Star, which are these classic yellow chick, and the chicks that are a little bit of a darker orange are also Red Star. These seem to be the most friendly. They're not as afraid of being held, and they also seem to be the largest, and they're growing the quickest. With our order, we also got 1 free chick that's more of a rare breed, and this is what he looks like. We think that he's a blue cochin. He's a beautiful blue-gray color, and he has feathered feet and legs. And he's the smallest of the bunch, and he's just super cute. As the day went on and their paper towel bedding just got a little dirtier, we would just layer new paper towels right on top, and this way they always have a clean surface to walk on. It is day 2 of the chicks being home. We unfortunately found out early this morning that our surge protector had turned off overnight. We had been here all evening and had checked before we went to bed, and everything was fine, but for some reason it turned off overnight. But luckily Aaron got up really early this morning and saw it and turned everything back on, and all the chicks are doing really well. They still look very healthy and they're just moving around like normal, so luckily nothing happened. But just a word of caution to really keep an eye on things like that and make sure nothing happens, especially if you live in a colder climate. We're not in a super cold climate, so I think that's why they were okay, but yeah, definitely kind of scary this morning. They're doing really well. They're eating a lot and pooping a lot. We're just keeping an eye to make sure none of them get pasty butt, which is when their poop gets stuck on their rear ends, and it just clogs them up. You might be able to tell they're also starting to run around a lot more. They're starting to dart all around the box, and they've really gotten a hang of how to use their legs, so it's fun to see them just running around, and I'm really glad we have this bigger box for them to be able to do that. By day 2, we decided to fill in their box with our pine shavings because it was just starting to get dirty so quickly and it was starting to smell just a little bit. So we just added a thin layer of shavings on top of the paper towels. At first they were all pretty freaked out by it since they have never seen this before, and after we got it all set up, they did start to kind of peck at the shavings a bit just to see what it was, and this is why we wanted to start off with paper towels, because this way it makes it easier for them to figure out what their food is. But after a few pecks, they figured out that this wasn't food and it's just their bedding, and they would mostly just leave it alone from there. By day 3, I feel like you can really start to see some fast growth on these chicks. Baby chicks will double in size in just the first week, and I feel like you can definitely tell a difference at this point. They have been running around more and flapping their wings more, and you can see that some of them have even started to jump up on their brooder. And a lot of times we'll walk in and we'll just see like 4 or 5 of them just chilling on top of there now. They're going through food and water really quickly as well, so we just need to make sure that we have that topped off at all times. At this point, they're still too young to have any sort of treats, but as an alternative to that, as a safer kind of treat, what we'll do is we'll just soak some of their normal chick food in some of their quick chick water, and it makes sort of like this mush, and we'll just put it in one of those little mason jar lids for them, and they really seem to enjoy that. We've been trying to hang out with the chicks as much as possible so that they get more used to our scent and our presence. In the beginning, they were pretty skittish and would run away from us, but by day 3, anytime I would put my hand in there, they would associate that with food and come running over, so it was pretty cute. We hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this process of our first experience of getting chicks in the mail. We're really excited for this addition to our homestead and our lives, and we'll be sure to be posting more updates, so please subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next video.
It's sunnier than most days. You'll never see the sky if you keep looking down, and if you take the wrong way.